despair, to transmute fear and frustration, to bring needed adjustments in our attitude toward life in general. In short, New Thought, Science of Mind teaching is a teaching by which life is raised to the joy level and established there. By the active use of the spiritual truths taught here, each one is empowered to live a life of conscious choice. I now present the president of our board, Barry Lefkowitz.
I'm actually very honored to be part of this ceremony to welcome all of you. You are the unifying with the members of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center and of all member centers of affiliated New Thought Network throughout the world in a warm, loving, divine fellowship of spirit. As you enter into the spiritual community activity in thought, word, purpose, plan, and action, you bless us with your own uniqueness. Through your practice of teachings of science of the mind and New Thought ancient wisdom, you make a difference to your life, the life of your community, and the life of this center. As you realize your unity with spirit, you increasingly become an influence of good in the lives of all of whom you have contact. The one obligation we place upon you is the obligation you place on yourself to fully embrace membership, the Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, and everything that membership applies to you.
Do you believe you are a divine incarnation of the one life, forever and ever growing in awareness and love?
I do.
Are you willing to learn the philosophy of Science of Mind as an empowering structure for a life well lived?
I do.
Will you love this spiritual community and support it with your time, your talent, and your treasures?
I will. We will.
On behalf of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center and the members of this center, I lovingly receive you into membership in Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. You miss me. Never miss you. Thank you.
I like staying outside.
Our newest members of Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. Hand it over. I like that. And pray. Thank you, Norman Taylor.
You're welcome.
Wow, that was really great. So this month, we are embarking on a grand experiment. And that is to prove that we have the ability to live, to love, and to laugh abundantly by becoming a giver to life. This concept is summed up in the words of Ernest Holmes that I've shared every week this month, and I'd like to do it again because they are so powerful. He wrote, Ernest Holmes, for those of you who don't know, is the founder of Science of Mind, Religious Science. He wrote, "Life is an eternal givingness, the offering of the cosmic self to the joy of its own fulfillment. You and I are part of this joy, and we find fulfillment only as that joy passes through us to others. Everything moves in circles. We short-circuit our own good when we refuse to pass it on. So you and I are part of this joy, and we find fulfillment only as the joy passes through us. We short-circuit our own good when we refuse to pass it on. So we're learning this month how not to short-circuit our own good. And it's based on this book, The Go-Giver. So a motivational speaker and author, Anthony Robbins, once said, "Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment." And from the 13th century Indian poet and philosopher Tagore, "I dreamt that life was a joy. I awoke and life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy." Why is it true? Why is this true? It goes back to those levels we've been speaking about of spiritual development. And of course, God is the ultimate giver. We know this. We say this. It's in our teachings, the givingness of the divine spirit. It asks for nothing in return, but there's nothing missing in God. So it's always giving of itself into creation. So this is totally true, completely, unreservedly giving of itself to that which it creates. And that would be us. Us. Each and every one of us. And so those 4 stages, real quick, of spiritual development was to me, by me, through me, and as me. Yeah, so therefore, when we are serving, when we are giving, we are living in the through me, which is mystic, and the as me, which is the master, stage of consciousness. It's high-level action, and it's a high-level activity. When we give, when we serve, we are allowing God to express through and as us, each and every one of us. And as Jolene and April just shared, through that act of giving that card, it changed Jolene's entire experience, probably her life, and possibly the healing. So it's in that giving, selfless giving, nothing expected in return, that the receiver, maybe it's 8 years later or whatever it is receiving that kind of acknowledgement in front of a community. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So when we give, when we serve, we are allowing God to express through and as us. Through and as us. When we are giving, serving, we are living from our true nature, the authentic self. And of course, living in our true nature brings us joy. It brings us joy. We are exploring the 5 laws of stratospheric success from this book, The Go-Giver. And it really is a book about success in business, but as I said last week, it really applies to every level of our life. It's success in every aspect of our lives. And so these laws do translate across all business lines. We can use it in our everyday life. In fact, a genuinely sound business principle will apply anywhere in your life, in relationships, in friendships, your marriage, or relationships, anywhere. They apply. That's the true bottom line. Not whether it simply improves our financial balance sheet, but does it improve our life's balance sheet? So that's how we translate it into our life's balance sheet. How balanced is your life? Last week we explored the first two laws, and you, like the protagonist in this book, were given an assignment. Go out and apply the laws, right? Don't just hear about them or read about them. This is about activating them, about really using what we talk about in your life. This is a place to live life from. The foundation, that was beautiful, that was in foundation class, which we're doing right now. That foundation is key. So the first law is the law of value. The law of value. Your true ability to create an abundant life is determined by how much you give in value rather than take in payment. Second law, the law of compensation. Your abundance is determined by how many people that you serve and how well you serve them. Think about it. Anybody apply any of this last week? No? Good. Nice. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. Okay, that's what we yes. Yes. I'm not going to call you up. I just want to know that you're listening, that you're proving it to yourself. It's for you to prove to yourself that this stuff absolutely works. And so, according to Pinar, the mentor in this parable in the book, he says, changing your focus from seeing what you can get to what you can give, laws 1 and 2, when things start to feel off. Start, always start, beginning. But in most endeavors, you also need to know how to develop a network of people who know you, who like you, people that you trust. They might never buy a thing from you, but these are the people that have your back, the people that you know that you can depend upon when you need to depend on someone. And of course, you being the same for them, being that person that they can trust, that they can depend on. The third and fourth laws of stratospheric success invite you into what the book refers to as enlightened self-interest, which is the name of the talk today. Enlightened self-interest. By realizing that when you genuinely care about meeting the needs of others, that's law 3, and show up authentically, that's law 4, then your interests will be taken care of automatically. It's the way it works. So we'll go over the third law. It's called the law of influence in the book. And that could be your influence, an abundant life, rich in every area. It's determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Different kind of concept, isn't it? The third law of stratospheric success is watch out for the other guy. Watch out for his interests. Watch out for his interests. Watch out for his back. Make your win about the other person. Go after what he wants. Forget the win-win. Focus on the other person's win. And quit keeping score. I don't know about you, but when people around me are very successful, it truly, really uplifts my spirit. It brings me great joy. I get excited. If you find yourself in a different mode, you might want to check what belief is operating within you, because my excitement for that other person is such a gift that I give to myself. It uplifts me. Then I am successful just by right of being in the same area, the same place as that person is, because the joy, the excitement is there. So, first, your interests, this is to know, by giving fully, your interests are automatically taken care of, always. So watch out for what people need. with the faith that when you do, you'll get what you need as well. And I have to say, this is without being codependent. This is a healthy way, we'll get into that a little bit, a healthy way of being aware of the other person's need. So this is what Pindar, the protagonist in this story, what is quoted in the book. I believe there is one reason, and only one reason, that my wife and I have stayed together for so long and are so happy together, as we were 48 years ago. More so, in fact. The reason is this: I care more about my wife's happiness than I do about my own. All I've ever wanted to do since the day I met her is to make her happy. And here's the truly remarkable thing. She seems to want the same thing for me. So in the book we have Joe. We talked about him last week. And so Joe said, wouldn't some call that codependence? And Pindar said, yes, some people probably would. But you know what I call it? He said, I call it success. An awe-inspiring, true-life example of this third law appeared in an article in the June issue 2009 of Sports Illustrated, and I don't read it. Somebody gave me the article a while ago. I don't think I've ever opened that one. But it was a great story in it. So the event reported in this June issue actually took place in 2009, and it occurred during a woman's softball game. A young woman named Sarah hit the ball and it soared out of the park. Two base runners headed home. Sarah rounded first base, but then here's the first base coach telling her and yelling at her, "Get back, get back." Apparently she didn't touch the base. But as she turns to run back, her cleats somehow stick in the ground. It's a true story. She twists, but her knee doesn't twist with her. Ooh, ouch. And she drops to the ground in excruciating pain, with the coach still yelling at her to get back to the first base. She crawls back, guess this is sports for you, grabs the base, holds onto it like a pillow, writhing in pain. But she cannot get up. She can't move. Now remember, she hit the ball out of the park. She looks at the coach and says, "What do I do?" The rules say, at least so the umpires thought at the time, that if a teammate helps her up, even touches her, the play becomes null and void. No one can run the bases for her. As they are trying to figure out what to do, the first baseman, Mallory Holtman, takes matters into her own hands. She asks the umpire if she could help. A bit incredulous, the umpire says, why would you do that? This is a player on the opposing team who's about to make a triple play. But nothing in the rules said that she can't. So the umpire gave his okay. Mallory scans the field and locks eyes with her shortstop, Liz. So Liz gets the message and runs over, and she and Mallory carefully pick up Sarah and walk her around the bases, making sure to dip her just a little bit so her left foot touches each base as they round it. So let me read this a little from the article. Mallory and Liz haul Sarah towards second base, moving with awkward sideward steps. They must travel 180 feet. Don't trip, Mallory says to herself. Thank you, guys, Sarah replied. You hit it over the fence, Mallory says. You deserve it. This has to look ridiculous to everybody watching, says Liz. I wonder if they're laughing at us. The spectators do not laugh. Rather, they stand feeling a certain euphoria. Their applause was a mild hailstorm. And as the women turned toward home, Sarah looked up at her teammates, and they were standing, cheering, clapping her on. And beyond her gratitude, she feels this twinge of pride. because she has hit her first home run ever in what would prove to be the last game that she ever played. So doesn't that story just warm your heart? Let's put our theory then to test here. Remember, this is to prove it this month. This month is the month of proving what we are believing and speaking about and reading. So we're proving it. Let's see how that goes. Did they go on to win the NCAA championship? Was Mallory selected as the MVP? And did she get picked up to play pro football?
Softball.
Yeah. Where are the balls? It wasn't a joke in this song. One of those sports. Pro Bowl. None of those things happen. So I guess this stuff doesn't work. None of that happened. Not one of it. But you tell me, because this is what happened after that event. Money poured into the college after the game. The team got nearly $25,000 in donations, including at least one check from a soldier in Iraq. The university matched every dollar. The team got new uniforms, new protective screens for pitching practice, and a luxury bus to take them to away games. Mallory and Sarah have formed a nonprofit organization called the Sportsmanship Defined Foundation, which provides scholarships and teaches kids the right way to play. They have a publicist and a booking agent. Corporations pay them to deliver motivational speeches, including a recent appearance in front of 6,000 mortgage brokers on character and responsibility. And among the thousands and thousands of letters that Mallory received, this one, here's one. It said, "Dear Mallory, will you marry me?" Just kidding, 74, happily married and a grandfather. But I am one of the countless people across the country and probably across the world who truly loves you for what you and Liz did for Sarah. How could we not? Do you think Mallory's life was enriched slightly by her giving?
Absolutely.
I'd say abundantly so. Abundantly, because she applied the law of influence. That third law. Your abundant life is determined by how abundantly you apply other people's interests first. And so I am, like I said before, I'm not advocating that we become a doormat and let everybody just walk all over us, because that is not the point here. It's a much healthier way of knowing, as we have these boundaries, but at the same time, do we actually think about the other person and place them first? Something to think about. Fourth law. The fourth law talks about adding value to whatever you are offering. Whether it's a mundane commodity that everyone else is selling, real estate, could be hot dogs. You can make a lot of money off of that. Whatever it is, you can excel by adding value. So what's value? I love this line in the book that says, if you need money, add value. If you need a lot of money, add a lot of value. And if you need a lot of money fast, find a way to add a lot of value fast. And the most valuable thing that any of us possesses is ourselves. Who we are. Who we are. No matter who you think you are, or what you think you are selling, what you're really selling and offering is yourself. It's you. It's you behind it all. The fourth law is a simple one. It's called the law of authenticity, and it goes like this. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. Example in The Go-Giver of the woman who suddenly needed to make a living because of a divorce. So she went into real estate and studied really, really hard. And she learned every closing from A to Z that there was. She learned the assumptive close, the bonus close, the concession close, the emotional close, the distraction close, the future close, the golden bridge close. It goes on and on. It's like a whole paragraph of closings. Yet she did not sell one single property, not until she was about to give up, and thus gave up all the techniques, all of the stuff that she learned on how to sell and the methods for it. But she took one last appointment. And she took it because she couldn't weasel her way out of it, so she just took it, and she just talked. She was real. She didn't apply any closings whatsoever. She said it was the most unprofessional, sloppy, irresponsible, disgraceful sales presentation in the history of real estate. And she sold a house. And she sold a house. People don't want the fancy words and the slick closings. They want you behind it, in it, through it. That doesn't mean you can't excel your skills, but be real. Be in it. Be you. Your authentic, real self is worth 10,000 times more than all the closing techniques that you could ever learn. And you can add value to everything and everything. So the third law is the law of influence. Your abundant life is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Fourth law is the law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. So how will you live these laws this week? I'm inviting you to really prove this stuff. Prove that it works for yourself. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Prove it yourself, really. Realizing that when you do apply these laws into your life, you'll be in great harmony with the infinite source of all good, the divine, God itself, which is your true nature expressing in and through and as you. That's when you feel that joy. That's when you feel that success, that fulfillment, that peace. And you'll be living in the through me and even as me stages of spiritual development that we spoke about. And you will be richly blessed. You really will. And in the words of Gandhi, the fragrance lingers on the hand of the one who gives the rose.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
As you gather your gifts, please read along with me the offertory blessing. I bless and give this gift of abundance, aware that divine good flows through my life right now. I give with an open heart, knowing I am blessed.
All right. So, keep going with that, okay. No, it's all good.
It's all good. It's all God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. You can never remind yourself how blessed how much blessed you are. So it's good to do that. So anyway, this song that I'm going to do now, I think all of you probably have heard, but I found an interesting story about it that I didn't know. I was just, at a certain point, I figured I'd research the song a little bit. It's Sunny. It's the song Sunny. It's played on the radio. A lot of us know it. But some of us know it from AM radio. I won't out those people. Bob Hebb is the guy who wrote the song. Bob Hebb was a studio musician out of Nashville, African-American gentleman. Studio musician out in Nashville. Played a lot of instruments, played harmonica, and actually played in the Grand Ole Opry back in the day, which was pretty unheard of for an African-American guy to do. You know, there have been only a few people to do it. Most recently, the Carolina Chocolate Drops played to a encore at the Opry. But in addition to that, what's so significant about this song is that Bob's brother died pretty tragically, and it really put him in a state where he just couldn't lift himself out. And so he said, you know, I had to do something for myself, and I wrote this tune for myself. So by writing this tune, this just sort of speaks to what Margaret was talking about. The uplift of the tune was so great, it became a huge hit for him, and really gave him money for life, pretty much. And he went on to write for some other things. He wrote for Lou Rawls and some other folks, and he actually really recently just passed away, I think 2010. So anyway, this is Sunny.